Morning everybody, Blvd here with Enchanted Forest Reiki Center out of Las Vegas, Nevada. Today I wanted to talk about meditation and actually kind of put you through a meditation as well. Meditation is probably, to me, one of the most important things for people to learn to practice and have it as a steady type of discipline in their lives. I really feel that it helps you to deal with life better when you have a steady meditation practice. A lot of people come to me because they say, oh, I just can't meditate. I struggle with meditation. But quite often that's because they're just going off of what they see in the movies, you know, with the meditations, chanting Om, silent mind. And, you know, to do meditation where your mind is completely silent, that's tough. That takes a discipline. And people don't realize that it's not just happening because they've closed their eyes. This is something that, you know, they've spent their lifetime, you know, working on to get their mind to be quiet. So if that's your goal, it's certainly possible, but you need to be patient with yourself because it'll take time to get to a point where you can quiet your mind. There's a lot of different ways to do meditation and not just quieting the mind with meditation. In fact, there's unlimited ways that you can meditate. You can meditate, like I tell clients all the time, you know, if you go for the walk in the park, you know, that is a form of meditation in that it can be meditative if you're doing it with the right intent. In other words, not with your cell phone in your hand, but where you are just focused on nature, you know, and you walk by a tree and you talk to the tree, and, you know, you walk by a flower and talk to the flower, or see a bird and just sit and listen to the bird. It's very meditative, and that's a way, it's considered to be a form of meditation. It's being in the present, being in the now, being connected with nature. That is one form, you know, but there's also guided meditation, which I'm going to be doing today. You know, in today's world with YouTube and all this different technologies out there, it's really easy to just type in guided meditation, oh, by a river, oh, by the ocean, you know, in a forest, nature sounds, whatever. And you can pull that up and meditate, and plenty of stuff out there to do meditation with. Realistically, I love to teach this technique, which is activating your senses technique, putting yourself through your own self-guided meditation. And that might sound a little strange, but it's something that anybody can do, so that's what we'll be doing in a few minutes. But there's also meditation that you can do with sound, plenty of sound therapy things out there. Believe it or not, even the steady beat of a drum, doing what we call a shamanic journey, is another way to go into a meditative state. Using crystal singing bowls, believe it or not, gongs. You know, if there's a gong bath near you, oh, they're amazing. You know, keep in mind with meditation that being comfortable is important. Whether you're laying down, sitting up, how you're sitting, that's all an important part of it. You know, if you're going to be on the ground, you know, having a good meditation cushion underneath you so your back is properly supported. Otherwise, it's very distracting. If you're not in a comfortable position and you're actually feeling kind of some pain from the way you're sitting, it's not smart. You know, don't go that way. Make it easy on yourself. Try to have it to be where you're creating it as a habit. In other words, where you're doing it kind of the same time of day, it makes it easier, you know. So if you can do it right when you wake up in the morning or just before you go to bed or something where there's a consistency to it, then it becomes more of a habit. You know, there is a saying, 21 days becomes a habit, and if you can do it at the same time each day, it does form a habit. And for me, my habit is first thing in the morning. My family knows, don't talk to me, not until I get my meditation done. It just makes it a lot easier for me to stay in that discipline. And I do find that it's a discipline because it is much easier to get up in the morning and just all of a sudden check your computer or check your phone or go make a cup of coffee and make breakfast or whatever. It's a little harder to sit there and go, no, I'm not going to do that yet. You know, but bottom line is you're worth it. So by meditating first thing in the morning, I feel that I'm saying to myself that I'm worth it. You know, that everything else can wait. I need to take care of myself first. And I do need to come first in my life, because if I'm not going to make myself first, who is? Meditation for me is a habit, and it's my morning habit, and I love it. And I know that it helps me deal with what's going to get thrown at me in life, because Life has no guarantees, even when you open a spiritual center. You know? With that said, I'm going to go into a guided meditation, but like I kind of hinted at earlier, this is not a pre-planned meditation. I'm going to just bring myself into a space in nature that I know and I enjoy and I love. And I'm going to walk myself through it, creating almost like a story within my mind. You can do the same thing. In the story, one of the key aspects of meditation, I feel, is that you bring in your senses. One of the biggest complaints I get from people with meditation, number one would be, will they struggle with quieting your mind? But in a guided meditation, you don't need to quiet your mind because you're creating that story anyway. Number two, a lot of people say they struggle with visualization. And visualization isn't the only tool for meditation. You can not be a visual at all and still go into deep meditation. And for myself, I'm a very good example of that. When I first really started pushing a meditation practice for myself, I kind of struggled to get those visuals. But I found that I could bring myself as to what it would feel like to be there within my emotional body, and like with the temperature, and if there would be wind or no wind, and my sense of touch and feel could get into it very quickly. Some people, that's where they excel at. Other people, it's more with the sense of smell, or with taste, or with sound, you know, and so they could hear. So for instance, if you're at an ocean, you can sense that ocean wave, you know, and you can hear that ocean wave. And that's meditation. Meditation does not have to be visual. It could be any one of your senses. It could be where you're just hearing the sounds of birds singing, or an ocean and its waves. It could be where you're feeling it. The more of your senses that you can pull into meditation, especially when you're doing your self-guided meditation, you'll find that you can go deeper and deeper and deeper into the meditation until you feel like you are there. And in reality, you are there. You have fully brought yourself there. And now you're allowing yourself that time to be in this space in nature, just you and nature, meditating, helping yourself let go and release, reset, and then move forward. Bring yourself to a place in nature that you're familiar with and that brings you comfort. That could be a place that you visited in your childhood or currently. It could be just a spectacular vacation that you went to and you just remember it so vividly. So for myself, obviously with a business called Enchanted Forest that I've had for the last 13 years, I love the forest. Redwood forest to me is sacred. I'll never forget going into those big trees that you can't even describe how large they are. That's where I'm going to go today. But it's not like it's a pre-planned meditation. I'm just going to get myself into a calm state of mind. And you'll hear me saying in this meditation out loud, in this guided meditation, that I'm hoping brings you comfort. So if you're into the Redwood forest, join me on this meditation, because I'm about to go there within my mind, body, and spirit. And you'll hear me talking about my different senses so that I can bring myself deeper and deeper and deeper into the meditation. And hopefully you'll go there with me. I see this beautiful forest with these large, beautiful trees. The redwoods. And as I walk, I can hear the crunch of leaves underneath my feet. I find the sound of the leaves very soothing. It is so quiet. I am there by myself. No one else to have to answer to. Just me and nature. Each tree seems to be more beautiful. I cannot decide. They're just all so beautiful. Some of them feel like they're the children of the other trees. One in particular feels like a mother tree, while another feels like the father. You can feel how deep some of these roots go into the ground and feel the connections that they're making between each other. Sharing information, sharing water, sacred. And as I look up in the trees, I can see a bird's nest. And as I listen closer, there are baby birds. I can hear the birds chirping. I decide to stand there for a moment to see if I can find out what bird is mom or dad bringing in food. So I just stand there watching and listening to their chirps, feeling what it's like to be in a world where you are connected so deeply to someone else, to survive, so frail. And as I wait, I notice these beautiful clouds going by. And some of them are so large they seem to change the shadows as they hit the trees and the ground. And at one point, it feels so different because there is such a thick cloud going over. And just as I get used to the idea of this large cloud, it moves, and the sun comes out and seems to be shining right on me, right through the branches and trees and on me. It feels as if the sun is saying hello. I hope you enjoy my company. And I find myself saying hello back to the sun. Eventually I realize I'd like to move on, that maybe this is private. Maybe the parents can sense me and they won't come back until I move away. So I say goodbye in my heart to the baby birds, and I continue my walk in the woods. I can smell the soil, and every now and then a whiff of a flower. Such a fresh, natural smell. Again, it seems to soothe me. Until I walk up to a tree, and I find myself feeling very connected to this particular tree. It has an opening at the base that feels almost fairy-like. And I hear the tree say to me, "Come sit with me." Lean against me. And so I sit down in the grass, and I can feel a very, very slight moisture from the soil, but the temperature feels good. It's not too hot or too cold, so connecting to the soil is a good feeling. And I lean against my back, against the trunk of this wonderful tree. Listen to the sound of the wind going through the leaves. Very gentle sound, as if it's a hum or a slight whistle. And I focus on my breath, wanting to breathe that fresh air. Taking a nice deep breath, making sure to bring it down, not only through my lungs, but down into my lower stomach, my lower tonten. Breathing out, releasing any tension, any stress or anxiety. Another nice deep breath, but this time I feel like the wind is letting me know that it's simply God's breath. Sure. It's air, it's oxygen, the wind, God's breath, me are one. And I let it cleanse my lungs, my heart, my soul again. Again, until I am so relaxed and find myself becoming one with the tree, merging with it, as if there is no separation between me and the tree. Feel a slight little tickle on my nose and realize a leaf just fell, and it very slightly touched my nose as it fell. And I open my eyes looking at the leaf. I feel as if the leaf was a gift from the tree, thanking me for spending time with it, keeping it company. And just as I looked at the tree, I looked deeply at this leaf and see its veins, and how the veins seem to match a tree. It's as if there's a tree within a tree on this leaf, the pattern of the veins. Pattern also looks like rivers branching out. It also looks like veins in a person's body. And it makes me realize how many things in life have the same pattern. There is no separation between anything other than the separations we create. But if we allow ourselves to connect with ourself, our higher self, nature, we begin to remember the unity of everything. And then I hear it. The sound of those baby birds off in the distance. And some flapping wings. And I begin to realize that the parents are back, feeding the baby birds. And I can almost swear I hear the tree say, "You were right, Debbie. You needed to give some distance so that the parents could come back. Thank you for respecting nature. Thank you for understanding." And as if to give me another gift, a little ladybug lands on my hand. And of course, I have to count the dots. 3. A beautiful number of the Trinity. Wishing me well on my journey. And as much as that little girl in me wants to keep that ladybug, I know it's not mine to keep. So I slightly blow on it to send it on its way. And watch it fly away. Pitter-patter sounds. I become aware of chipmunks in the tree. Busybodies, they are. So much nature happening in this space. Little animals, and no doubt probably big animals. Everything that churns nature to make it happen. Such a beautiful family, these trees. You can feel their connection and love for each other. Their support for each other. I can hear the sound of water. Where there's a river. I feel like it's time to say goodbye to the tree. So I find myself hugging it and telling it thank you. Pressing my forehead to its trunk, wishing it well. As I search for the river, to be one with the water, just as I was with the land. But at this moment I will bring us out of the journey, and I will come back another day to the river. Begin to very gently and slowly open your eyes and come back into the space at a pace that is comfortable for you.